Hello guys, this is going to be a video about Power Chess 98. I absolutely love this very underrated game, and my hope is that after watching this video, you will be better able to appreciate its qualities. To start Power Chess 98, first we'll need to start our Windows 95 emulator. On my previous videos, I explained how to install PCem, Windows 95, and Power Chess 98. The link is in the description. As we set up previously, Power Chess will start automatically.
Prepare to match wits with powerful opponents. Welcome to Power Chess. I am the Power Chess Queen, your guide and most powerful opponent. And now, it's your move.
The first time that the game runs, it's a little messed up. All the windows are jumbled up, so let's organize things a little bit. Another thing that I like to adjust on this game is the board on 3D view. It looks good, but I prefer to play on a board on 2D view. I also like to change the board to steel, the size of the board to medium, and the sets to etched. Okay? There are mainly 4 things that I truly love about Power Chess and that have convinced me that Power Chess is the best chess game ever made. The first feature that I wanted to highlight is the Great Games multimedia presentations. To get there, you need to click on the Library menu option and then select Great Games. Power Chess 98 comes with 7 multimedia presentations where they analyze some of the most beautiful and interesting chess games in history. My favorite one is The Lion in Winter, but I have already watched all of them countless times. So let's show you a little sample of the first game.
Imagine a single game of baseball or basketball that was so good, so beyond the norm, that the fans gave it its own name. In 1852, Adolf Anderssen, one of the greatest attacking players of the 19th century, made chess history with what we now call the evergreen game. Follow along as Anderssen, playing white, hacks up a rival German master who pays the ultimate price for not castling.
I always like to select the slow tempo here because it makes the presentation a little more detailed.
Now we have what is called a double king-pawn opening. Both pawn to e4 and pawn to e5 are very natural moves because they facilitate development and control vital squares in the center. The leading players of the 18th and 19th centuries almost always opened this way. Sharp attacking games usually resulted. For the next few moves, both sides correctly bring out their knights and bishops.
I'm not going to play the whole presentation right now. You can watch it on your own time once you have Power Chess installed on your computer. So let's skip to the very end and see the conclusion of the presentation.
Check. A shocker! White sacrifices his queen, destroying the black king's cover. Double check. With check coming from 2 directions, all the king can do is flee. check, checkmate. And it's a humiliating fate for the king who never castled. King safety is paramount. This moral is as true and evergreen as Anderson's beautiful game.
Now, let me show you the second reason why I love Power Chess. I'm talking about the adaptive chess engine. This is actually the main reason why I think Power Chess 98 was way ahead of its time. To show you how this feature works, you will need to go to the Game menu option and select Change Opponent. Now click on the opponent's main option. At first glance, this game doesn't look anything special when compared to other chess games. Every chess game usually has a group of preset opponents with strength levels that will go from a chimpanzee all the way to the full strength of the chess engine. And here lies one of the greatest weaknesses of chess games in general. Preset opponents are no fun. If you, for example, choose the queen, which is the strongest opponent here on those presets, she will just beat you senseless and crush your soul. And playing against a weak opponent, such as a gorilla, is a no-win situation. If you won the game, you can't really brag that you won against a gorilla. But if you lose the game, boy, you lost to a gorilla. At the end of the day, every regular chess game will leave to you the arduous task of figuring out which preset opponent will be the best match for your chess level. But this is not the case with Power Chess. If you choose to play against the king, Power Chess will adjust the strength of the king to match your own chess level. As you play several games against the king, it will increase its strength until it begins to win 2 out of every 3 games that you two play. Playing against a stronger opponent will always make you strive to improve your chess abilities, but the king will never get so strong that you will feel discouraged, feeling that you can't win. And the chess engine will vary its strength even during a single game. The king will behave like an actual human being. When he is winning a game, he will begin to play recklessly, and when he is losing a game, he will do everything he can to turn the game around. This behavior of the king will actually help you as a chess player, because every time you will begin to win against the king, you will be forced to be very vigilant to prevent the king from turning the game around. And when you are losing, you will not feel discouraged. You will always be trying to find a way to turn the game around, because you will know that when the king is winning, he will be more relaxed. The behavior of the king mimics the behavior of actual human players. So the more you play against the king, the better you will be prepared when you play against your friends. You will be ever vigilant when you are winning, and you will never give up when you are losing the game. So when you challenge the king for the first time, you have to create a new user, select the option that will be most appropriate to your chess level. Just a little warning here. When you play against the king, your wins or losses are going to count as part of your score against the king. So once a game has started, you have to finish it. If you decide to abandon it in the middle, your only option will be to forfeit, and this will count as a loss on your score against the king. Now here, let me explain how the clock works. If, for example, you select the first option, 15 minutes plus 15 seconds move, it will mean that you will have 15 minutes to play all your moves in the game, and the king will also have 15 minutes to play all his moves in the game. So a game, in theory, would last 30 minutes. 15 minutes for your moves and 15 minutes for the moves of the king. Now, let's say you played a game that lasted 40 moves, and let's say that you and the king used up all the time you had on the clock. In this case, you may think, well, the game lasted 30 minutes. But that will not be true, because with this clock configuration, you will be earning 15 extra seconds every time you make a move. So, after a game of 40 moves, you and your opponent will have gained each 10 more minutes on the clock. So, a 40-move game can last up to 50 minutes when you select the first option. The same rules apply for each clock setting option. So let's continue.
Welcome to your very first game of your match with the Power Chess King. You'll have white for the first game of the match. Colors will alternate after that. I'll be watching while you play and thinking about what to tell you. At the end of the game, I'll return with my comments on what happened. Good luck against the king.
Let's fast forward to the end of this game I played against the king. It's funny that the king opponent will make very human-like petty moves, such as offering a draw when he knows that he is completely lost. And here Power Chess made a little mistake. You are not supposed to make a draw offer after you have made your move. You will have to first make a draw offer and wait for your opponent's response while your own clock is ticking. The king is such a sore loser.
Very good. That was your first defeat of the king. I'm certain you can look forward to many more.
Here I wanted to take a pause to talk about the third thing that Power Chess offers. I'm talking about the chess game analysis. Once your game with the king is over, Power Chess will add notes and hints to your moves and even include some variations to your moves. But this is not something unique to Power Chess. Other chess games such as Chess Master and Fritz can analyze your moves and add hints, notes, and variations to your games. In fact, other chess games can do better in this area when compared to Power Chess. Those other chess games will allow you to import games that you played with other people, and they will analyze those games. That's not the case with Power Chess. Power Chess will only analyze the games that you played against the king. However, Power Chess 98 was already offering this feature in 1996. Now I'm going to speak about the fourth and the last main reason why I think Power Chess is so special. This chess game will do something that no other chess game will do. It will act as a virtual chess coach. As soon as you finish the game against the king, the queen will come up and she will go over each move of the game, offering helpful hints, showing variations, and offering very nice words of encouragement when she analyzes a good move you made. She will even point out your bad moves in a very gentle way. She will explain why the move was bad, and even suggest alternative moves to the one you did. This multimedia presentation of your game is a killer feature that I was never able to find in any other chess game. It's like if you had your personal chess coach. She's very knowledgeable, she analyzes each game with you, she points out your mistakes, and like any good chess coach, she'll give you words of encouragement. Let me show you a little sample of this multimedia game analysis by watching a little bit of what she has to say about this game I just played.
Let's go over the moves. I have some thoughts on what happened. White began with pawn to c4. You chose well. This is called the English opening. The English is popular among some of the top players in the world. However, this isn't my favorite opening, so I'm not that knowledgeable about it. The move that I really like here is pawn to e4. This move was the favorite of Bobby Fischer. Back to the game. Black moved pawn to e5. Your opponent also fights for key squares in the center and allows the bishop and queen to develop by emerging along the diagonals. The next move was knight to c3. This was a logical developing move. Black then played knight to f6. The knight was placed on its best central square. There followed pawn to g3. This cleared the way to fianchetto the bishop. Black moved pawn to d5. Looked to me like your opponent
Now
wanted
let's
to
skip
open
ahead
up
and
the
hear
position
what
here.
she has to say about one of my mistakes.
Next came bishop to c1. This is not a good move. A more effective move was pawn to e4. Here I expected queen to h5. Then in reply, pawn to d5, followed by bishop captures on d5. And then the reply, e captures on d5. And now, knight to e7. Then in reply, bishop to d4. According to my assessment of the situation, you would have had quite an edge.
Now let's skip ahead.
Next came queen captures on h7, check. You were playing very well at this point. You really had the power chess king on the run here. Smokin'.
Now let's jump to the very end.
White continued with queen captures on f7, checkmate. Not bad. As a result of this game and my evaluation of your moves during it, you've won 385 power chess rating points. After you have reviewed your game, I hope you will challenge the Power Chess King again soon. Good luck when you do.
After the analysis is over, Power Chess will prompt you to save your game. And to keep things organized, I will create a folder with my username. In the future, you will be able to go to the Library menu option, click on Your Games Against the King, and from there, you will be able to select your game and play the multimedia presentation again. Also, from the same menu option, you will be able to select the option Your Score Against the King. Then you need to select your user, and then you will be able to see a graph with your rating points and your progress against the king. Power Chess achieved something that no other chess game ever did. It kept me coming back for more. If you are motivated and keep playing, that's when you get better in chess. Then you can imagine how upset I was when Sierra discontinued this game just when it was beginning to find its audience. It remained frozen as a Windows 95 game for almost 30 years. So I was extremely surprised when, thanks to PCem, Power Chess came back like a blast from the past.
Are you all right?
we can once again enjoy this awesome game. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. And if you can afford, you could buy me a coffee. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching.